I'm here with my co-host, Packer Diehard. How hype are you after that game one?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens here. Change some things not going well for Katarina wine mixers. So I'm super curious to see what we see coming out of here in this draft phase and what they can fix, and hopefully we can get a game 3.
Yeah, as a quick reminder for that game one, we saw some bold picks, the mid-Mal fight out of KWM. Some early success in the bottom lane with Tristana Braum, but not able to overcome the Caitlyn that have very good spacing, and the Alawi that just really dominated. And now as we're going into pick and ban, Morgana and Twitch banned away that first game as well. You see the Alawi response, very reasonable. Long time Sebastian, long time Alawi player.
Yeah, I think that was definitely step one for game 2 was don't let him play Alawi. I don't know if there is another champion that MF Shadow thought he might have been able to play into it, but specifically against Sebastian, everybody knows what he's capable of individually on that champion. So
yeah. So some notes on what has changed. The Sejuani in game 1 was banned third by Lavi's Lusty Lads, but now we see Mordekaiser.
Yep.
And what was dropped for that Alawi was Sivir, a pick for...
Which is Spoop's most picked champion, but we saw how capable he was, or not Spoop, sorry. Joystick's most picked champion, but we saw how capable he was on the Caitlyn, so...
And
even if he banned the Sivir, he's going to pick something else.
Speaking of Caitlyn, it looks like she will be taken away here, so that Thresh Caitlyn lane no longer an option. I do like Caitlyn into Thresh, that range that she has, the 90 caliber net able to get her away, just makes her so safe from those death sentences, just makes positioning against them that much easier. And the blind pick Dr. Mundo, are you crazy? There's maybe
that is
That is something that's come back since some recent buffs to him, but if that is a top lane Dr. Mundo, it is absolutely nuts that they would blind pick it. So we'll see what KWM thinks it is. Hopefully,
I don't think Sebastian would blind pick that, but we'll see. I am expecting that to be for Labby in the jungle.
Mm-hmm. We see the blind pick Vel'Koz. Now that is actually really crazy too, because we know for a fact it won't be support because we see Thresh. So Vel'Koz and Gnar picked, probably expecting it to be into the Mundo. Decent matchup in that top lane, I would say. The Vel'Koz blind pick, very vulnerable to assassins, that champion is. I'm actually kind of stunned that they would blind pick that. I'm going to check the chat real quick, make sure that wasn't an error. That wasn't an error. Okay. Jace. Alright. If that Jace is what it looks like, yeah, it seems to be. So that is their top laner, most likely. Jace also sometimes seen mid, but that may confirm Dr. Mundo jungle, Jace top. Now that is
and we could still see Mundo jungling with the Jace mid if they're really trying to be crafty, hide their top lane pick. But I agree, I do expect it to be Jace top.
Mm-hmm. A few bans coming out after we see Sivir made it through this far, so they want to take that away from Spooked. Also something he's played quite a bit. I think Twitch.
The other interesting thing is
Tristana, all taken away from Spooked.
Yeah. They decide to just ban out Spooked rather than try to limit the jungle pool.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see Simon Duffy really getting the pick, whatever jungler he feels like he wants.
I would say Rek'Sai would be, I mean, it's just comfort for Siren. I think he did all right.
He had some good early ganks, especially the first one.
We talked about before, he's early game snowballing jungler dependent on winning lanes, and he just didn't have that. I don't think he ever had a chance to pop off last game.
I was actually looking at the damage charts from game 1, and he actually did the damage out of all champions in the game in the Rek'Sai. So after the first gank, give or two, really ineffective the rest of the way. So
yeah, so round 2 picks coming in here. We see Blitzcrank for Lavi's Lusty Lads. KWM doesn't have an AD carry.
They do not.
All right. We're getting spicy.
Yeah, this is
okay.
Very interesting. I mean,
all right. Now
maybe they could.
Nara Gangplank. Which one's bot? And Vagar locked in the mid. We could worry about that guy later. Is either Nara Gangplank bot? I do remember when he first came out back in, I want to say 2014. Some people thought Nara could be an AD carry if he didn't have that pesky melee form.
Yeah.
Because every time an AD range champion comes out, people ask, can it AD carry? The answer with Nara was pretty much no. He's melee like a quarter of the time in lane. Gangplank, I think, is a more reasonable bot lane because he has that Q. The cooldown is a bit restrictive. In solo lane, usually use that to poke and proc grasp of the Undying on Gangplank. I think that's decent. That's not a great matchup.
I mean, there is also the possibility it's a Vel'Koz bot and maybe a Gangplank mid.
Yeah.
So
that would be interesting as well.
Could move any of those three.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea as well.
Because Gangplank has been played mid in his history.
Yes.
And Vel'Koz not typically played bot lane unless it's a support, but
G2 exists right now, so everything's up in the air.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
MSI rating champs will take any champion to lane, and if they can do anybody.
Yeah, for anyone not familiar with the European professional scene, G2 did win MSI, and regionally they're known for picking pretty much whatever. They picked Soraka top lane with Smite once, and they won with it. It was pretty unironically good. I mean, yeah, I think there was a conversation between, I know it was G2's coach Grabs, and I believe it was a caster, just for the sake of having a name, I'll say Vedius. So a conversation between Grabs and Vedius. Grabs said, Vedius, my team can flex any champion whatsoever to multiple roles. And Vedius said, nuh-uh. And Grabs said, yeah, start naming champions. And he started thinking of every champion he could that couldn't go into his second role. Skarner, Kha'Zix, trying to think of more myself, Callista, Kindred, and Krabs kept saying, "Yeah, no, we got a place for that."
I do remember specifically they did pick Kha'Zix for a solo lane, and Caps and Wonder literally played rock paper scissors on stage to decide who was going to play it. Like, that's how serious they were about just not caring. Playing rock paper scissors to decide who was going to play what champion.
Yeah. So I wish we could talk about
back to these champions.
Yeah, I wish we could talk about what these lanes are going to, but I don't think we quite know yet. MF Shadow currently has Gnar, so it looks like maybe Gnar top, Gangplank mid, and Vel'Koz bot, just by...
Yeah.
Wait, no, Spook Test Thresh. Holy shit, it's 80 carry Thresh. Never mind. Okay, I know what this is. Hold on, I know what's up. Okay, it's 80 carry Thresh.
80 Thresh with Vel'Koz support.
Yeah, okay. I remember this. Actually, quite a while ago, the team I coached for, Hoagie's Heroes, scrimmed against KWM, and they did play 80 carry Thresh. They did not win with it, but that was, again, quite a while ago. I believe it was after week 1, where we were 0-2 against them. Yeah, so they might have improved it since then, figured out some more specific stuff, some nuances to that champion in that role that they liked. No comment on the actual viability of 80 carry Thresh. Just everyone in suspense.
Yeah, we can wait to see how they, trade people around, but we can, at least for now, talk Labby's Lusty Lads here, because they at least have pretty solidified lanes. So we can talk about them while we wait to see what happens on the other side.
Yeah, so Caitlyn Blitzcrank's an interesting combination. Um, so you would think, Blitzcrank's able to lock a champion in place after grabbing them. So Caitlyn should be able to easily get a trap under them. I don't actually like that matchup, or that combination. I don't like combining her with champions who have things that physically move where the enemy champion is, because you might get the trap off by just a little bit because they're up in the air. They're physically in a different place on the screen. I don't like with Thresh either for the same reason, because it's slowly pulling them towards him. And the Flame might move them as well. So it's much more reliable with like a root or a stun. Veigar, mid, Jace top, Mundo jungle, as we discussed. So some interesting stuff going on here.
So I will say for sure, they don't really have. They look like a team that they just want to spread out the map, catch people out, skirmish, split push with the Jace. They don't really have big team fight like initiation at all. Their CC is Vygar's Event Horizon, which is, I mean, it's a good zone control, but it's not like an engage. And then it's a Blitzcrank pull, which isn't an engage. It's just trying to pull somebody who's out of position. So they just want to spread the map out and skirmish and see if they can catch people out.
Yeah, they have a good.
But they're not like a group as 5 and just go at them team fight type.
Yeah, their team is Siege. They have good Siege. The Vygar Baby Cage is able to. It's not good at engaging, but it is good at stopping engages.
Right.
You can't run through it without getting stunned. That gives your team time to escape, and such a big passage blocker. Jace, Caitlyn, Mundo all bring various forms of poke. I think Blitzcrank is the odd man out here, because he wants to do something that nobody else in the team wants to do. He wants to pull somebody in the middle of them. They don't have very quick all-in damage. I guess Caitlyn, if she does manage to get that trap down in place, maybe it's just me.
And if Jason's there too, like, he gets a free EQ off on hold, and then they should die instantly. They definitely have enough burst that if Blitzcrank pulls anybody except for the Sejuani or maybe the Gnar and Mega Gnar, they'll kill any of the other 3.
Yeah, instantly. So we're actually running low on time at the spectator list. So let's get over to KWM now that we know what they're doing. AD carry Thresh and support Vel'Koz. Thresh kind of works as like any other AD carry, except he's got some hard CC. Sometimes he stops himself from auto attacking, which is cool for an AD carry. Vel'Koz poke support. Gangplank mid, it looks like, against this Veigar, which was actually blind picked, I want to mention. The orange is very good into the cage because, you get rid of the stun.
Yeah.
But I will say that is about the only CC that he can cleanse. Caitlyn Trap he can get as well.
That's the only CC he needs to worry about, though, because the rest of the team doesn't really have any.
Basically, yeah.
Blitzcrank pull, but if he gets pulled by that, he'll die anyway if the rest of the team's around.
You actually can't cleanse. You can cleanse a knockup, but you can't move after it. You can flash and dash after cleansing a knockup, but you cannot walk.
Yeah.
So basically uncleansable by Gangplank. Gnar top into Jace. I think that's about an even matchup. I think it goes slightly towards the more skilled player. About a skill matchup. So personally, I feel like Jace ekes out the edge here, just because I know Dr. Pengo has a good Jace. I think late game I like KWM's team comp a bit better, because they do have good initiation from the Gnar and Sejuani and good follow-up from Gangplank with the barrels and ultimate. But if Labby's Lusty Lads is able to get an early advantage, if they're able to turn this game into a pressure cooker, then I think they're able to siege towers successfully through mid and late, and that is their win condition, is making sure that KWM doesn't have the possibility of engaging safely.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be the big wrench in all this is just because I just don't know exactly what to expect from Thresh AD. So, like, Gangplank is going to take a while before he can really turn on. But if they are able to get to late, getting... and any CC down from the Gnar and the Sejuani, followed by a Gangplank Barrel, should be able to burst pretty much anybody on Labby's team except for Labby himself on Mundo. And then, especially like if Gnar gets a good ult into the wall, it's really easy for Vel'Koz to get his ult, do a whole bunch of damage and all this stuff. So they can definitely win late game fights if it's set up properly. So we'll just see if they're able to get the right vision down and be in the right position to capitalize on it.
Mm-hmm. So remember, we're going to pause at 10 seconds here, as I've already broken that myself. I'm at 14, so let me roll this back. Alright, I'm at 10 seconds. Let me know when you're also there.
Yep.
Alright, I'm paused on 3. 1, 2, 3. So we're getting into this. Let's take a quick look at runes and masteries. We got Fleet Footwork out of Mundo and Caitlyn. Not usually what you see on Caitlyn. I think Lethal Tempo is more common.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Fleet Footwork on Thresh. So that's what an AD carry Thresh takes. Everybody.
Yeah, I play bot. I don't play much Caitlyn. I do think Fleet Footwork is pretty common. I don't think is the best on it, but I could be wrong. I just don't really play Caitlyn.
Yeah, I would say it matters mostly on your matchup. If you think you can win the matchup, you want an aggressive rune. If you think you might struggle, you want a defensive rune that heals you. Speed. So nothing really happening level 1. I'm kind of surprised Lavius Lusty Lads decided to do something with that Blitzcrank. Definitely a good invade champion. I think KWM sat around a corner expecting a potential invade. Nothing really played out there, so they're happy just not playing out level 1.
Yeah, so this early game, what I'm looking for is, again, bot lane is still kind of a wild card for me. I mean, I expect Caitlyn will be better early than the Thresh, but mid lane, Gangplank's not the best early, but he's against the Vigar, who also isn't the best early either. Vigar just kind of wants to chill and farm. So mid lane is probably just going to be... I don't see the whole lot the junglers can do there. So I think what, maybe some good cheesy bot lane fights and probably a lot of fighting, or I would guess pressure from the junglers in the top lane. Especially if you are Labby's Lusty Lads, you want to get Dr. Pango ahead on the Jace. If he gets ahead of the Gnar and is able to split push easily the rest of the game, that's a really, really big advantage they're going to...
we see Flash coming out from Spoons here as the level 2 advantage goes over to KW, or actually Labby's Lusty Lads, able to get level 2 out of their opponents, put some aggression down. We see a little bit of trading up in top lane. No, we don't. They're wet noodles so far. So, ADK's coming down around this Gangplank, able to wait it out without
just dodges out there.
Yeah, Mundo coming up in top lane for a gank. Gnar kind of acknowledging he's out of position here, able to get the bounce jump and flash. Flash blown by Jace as well.
Definitely now another avenue for a repeat gank, but that is one thing about you have to think about that as the jungler. Are you giving them an easy path out if you come just poop on your head and get away?
Yeah, so Sejuani... Yeah, Lab looking to get a repeat gank up top. May not have noticed that there's a ward.
We get the hook in the bot lane.
In the bot lane... Oh, I missed that. First blood. Alright, first blood going over to this crank. All summoners blown. Spooked following, looking for maybe a follow-up. Looks like that will be disengaged.
Seeing both of the kills going to the support, which will favor the Vel'Koz, because he does better with because he'll do more damage.
Yeah, entirely agree with that. Blitzcrank doesn't need items. I think he does pretty good with Zeke's, and after that he's useless. So unless that kill got him a Zeke's. Mid gank coming in, Gangplank without any mobility to get away here. Actually, is that flash?
Good counter gauge from Zeke.
Yeah, actually very good playing around his tankiness. Jingo and Chain saving his flash there. Unless Flicker would have blown it sooner. Well, Bukaku Poro also getting a gank with pretty much no mana left, so not able to follow that up to the best of his ability.
Yeah, very pretty impressed there with the control out of Jingo. I think a lot of people would have just instantly flashed, or but he had the confidence in his jungle behind him to get the CC off and just walk it out.
Spook's taken very low in the spot lane, less than 100 health, as Prodigy looks to get a grab so close.
Oh.
Mundo looking to dive here, may not know that Siren Delphi is sitting in the wings, waiting for them to do something greedy. But it looks like some people will get a chance to recall here.
One thing I do say is I really enjoy playing support. He's one of the few Mastery 7s I have, and I have almost all of it for support, because playing at mid I was not doing as hot, but the amount of poke is pretty ridiculous. Obviously against the Blitzcrank you have to watch out for getting hooked because you'll die pretty easily, but if you dodge the hooks, like Vel'Koz will have a field day down here with poke coming out. It's going to be pretty annoying.
I agree.
Alright, so
game kind of slowing down here. Actually, MF Shadow with the level 6 gets the Gnar transformation, misses the Gnar. Missing his opportunity to get a kill onto Jace there, but maybe Jace would have made it out. Who knows?
Yeah, I think he kind of misplayed that using his what is it called? Omega form. It's called Crunch, I think. Leap. Because Jace had moved into melee range, so then him leaping above him to try to ult him, then pretty much moved himself out of position for it. If Jace was still back in ranged mode, I think would have hit him. But
yeah, so Mundo sticking around this top lane, got spotted out on a ward, tried to follow up on that. Jace going back in again without much mana, not really able to finish that up. Yep. Mundo chilling around waiting for his scuttle. Let's check support golds while we got a second. They're about even, about halfway to their items. Everything's about even just now. 200 gold lead. 4 Lavies, Lusty Lash. Chain cut off position here as he tries to aggress onto Veigar and gets punished for it. Blitzcrank now going in for a grab, gets Vel'Koz, knocks him up. Trap combo executed properly by
too much damage. Yep.
Yeah, able to get that trap down on the knock-up and then follow it up with a 90 caliber net. Multiple headshots in a row. Auto resets galore. And finishes Mr. Mad off quickly. Now securing 1,500 gold lead for Lavies Lusty Lads.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough to know that Vel'Koz will die pretty instantly gold, so that hook almost sweeps its way past the minions in there.
Looks like they may have a plate going down here bot lane. So close. Blitzcrank gets the forum, and now Blitzcrank reading and getting caught under this tower. And Prodigy goes down there for pretty much nothing from Spooked. Spooked didn't use the
just
ultimate.
a mental lapse there, but he just walked into the turret.
Yeah, he was trying to get the plate there, but maybe didn't back off.
Maybe that's what it was,
okay.
Okay.
Time. Yeah. Yeah, interesting death there. That did not need to happen.
Yeah, so that's going to be good for Spooked there. Also interesting about... so, something we don't see too often, but, I mean, ADC Thresh in general is not something we see too often. Why not go for it? We saw the big skirmish here on the top side. And I've Shadow taken to about a third health.
Getting poked by that big Q, flash Q from Jason. Answer with another
Flash for
flash by
flash.
Shadow. Yeah, so once
Yep.
again, flash for flash, then cool down on those top laners. Siren kind of wandering around in this bottom side jungle, getting spotted out. Looks like a 4v3 forming around here. Bot lane able to respond, maybe not.
Yep.
Everyone backs off.
Alright, so I want to go ahead and give credit here to Spooked on this ADC. Similar to last game where we thought Tristana into Caitlyn was going to give the advantage to the Caitlyn. He's pretty much even in farm and he has a kill. So both games into lanes we thought, oh,
Flash
sorry,
engage
we see
from
the ganking
Sejuani.
bot. Oh,
But a flash from Caitlyn will dodge the ultimate. As in the meantime, Labby's jungler is hearing the mid lane, but a flash from Gangplank gets him out. No kills.
yep.
Well played from Joystick, possibly predicting that ultimate follow up.
Yeah, definitely.
Siren maybe getting greedy, trying to space the CC with his knock up and the stun from the ultimate.
Just missed. They are.
Just going in top again, low mana. MF Shadow getting that Gnar bar up, gets the Gnar transformation, but does not have a way onto Jace to get him with that Gnar ultimate.
It was really heads up there from Dr. Pangu to knock him away with the hammer to ensure that he can get off the Gnar into the wall there.
It's getting hit by the Flay here, but Thresh going very low, walks over trap, goes down to the headshot. Mr. Matt now desperately zone using, but not always helpful versus Caitlyn.
Yeah, pretty much a waste there.
It gets the trap placed under him and instantly dead as soon as he comes up. So now that we're seeing pings on a dragon from Laddies.
It should be a free pickup here for them on the.
Yeah, it should be a clean one. If Siren's able to sniff it out, then we might be able to get that smite steal. We see Vigar walking over. Prodigy's actually pretty low here. I don't think he's taking damage on it. Yeah, Sedge gets there too little too late. That is an Earth Drake. Undrake, whatever. Round 1 going over to Larry's Lusty Lads.
Yep. So we're going to see with the last couple of plays coming out. Gold lead has been going up a little bit. 2,500 gold now, 12 minutes is start.
And we're seeing actually a big individual gold lead on the support. It's actually biggest disparity here. With what's Crank being roughly 700 gold above the Vel'Koz.
Yep.
I'm wondering how that actually transitions to the support item. So they both have their quests complete. Yeah, about 70 up through the Blitzcrank. So not a huge advantage through the support gold, mostly through kills and assists. Joystick barely dodging play there. Actually, big party in the bot lane. Mundo gets caught out of
Oh, that's
position.
Sejuani ult.
Yeah, Sejuani ult catches Mundo out of position. Very good play. Mundo ultimate
Yep.
coming out a little too late to save him there. The sadism.
Yeah, he was just a little bit far.
Flay hits, Death Sentence hits Joystick as Spook jumps into the middle of the enemy team, not where the AD carry wants to be, and he does go down, but Vel'Koz managed to pick up a
Keep going.
kill onto Caitlyn.
Alright, so.
Starting to see some drawbacks, I think, of the Thresh pick. A built-in dash onto an enemy champion built into his kit put him a bit out of position for most AD carries there.
Yeah. I think that all started off. Labby was just a little bit too ahead of the rest of the team on that play, and was able to get bursted in before the rest of the team could follow. So, just a small mistake there from Labby. Spooked trading his own life for the. It's kind of like the Lee Sin Q. You hit it, but do you really want?
Lee Syndrome over on this Thresh.
Right. Support tanky Thresh, sure, on AD Thresh, maybe. but
Oh, wow!
he did still get the kill on Joseph.
Yeah, headshot, rather, combo coming out on Vel'Koz, takes 2/3 of his life. Mr. Matt sadly chugging his potions. Wow, Labby actually trying to solo the Rift Herald here, forced to flash out of the pit as Enemy Team collapses onto him. No? Okay, Jace is coming in to try and contest this. They are walking up. So hopefully we can see.
It's gonna be a 3-for-3.
Yeah, fight here. Glacial Person
the
comes down
Gnarl
onto
coming
Mundo.
in big, Gnarl!
Sadism working for Mundo, keeping him alive in this fight. Jace goes down. It's 2v3 now. MF Shadow somewhat low. Labby able to take down Jingle and Chain. Can he get away? The stun is up for Sejuani. MF Shadow gets him with the boomerang.
The hyper proc.
Okay, Bukaki
Not quite able to stop
barely
him.
managed. Yeah, barely managed to sneak out of there. I think MF Shadow had an inkling that he was in that bush, hopping over the wall there.
Yep. So just to double check, it was Siren who picked up, as we see him channeling the now. So that was a super clutch engage there. Meganar timing out perfectly to secure that.
Looks like Herald will be able to get a second charge. That's helpful. No second turret going down as the numbers of Labby's Lusty Lads come back up. So, the side of KWM able to turn this a bit back into their favor here.
Yep, still about 1,500 gold lead.
Definitely in a better place than they were this time last game. Say that for sure. Flash engage from Sejuani solo onto Caitlyn. Gets hit by the stun, yet maybe not necessary to save that tower, but
yeah. Could have saved the flash, but
yeah. Bold. You gotta respect her. Jace in the side lane able to get that top turret.
Yeah.
Very good. Snowballing that gold lead. Or rather, catching up that gold lead that his team has recently lost, trying to get him back into that seat of power here.
Here we do see both teams are all grouped here.
Some vision.
Nar doesn't have the TP.
Sides. Yeah, Nar currently on the other side of the map, so this is Labby's.
He's walking down, but he's going to be late to the party.
Yeah, Labby's opportunity. Nar actually committing to the top lane. He is turning back. So it's a 4v5 in this fight. Ultimate comes down from Vel'Koz. Nobody on Labby's side has died yet. It is now a 3v5 as Sejuani goes down.
On the right side.
Sniped by the by the EQ combo from Jace, and now easily an Ocean Drake going over to Labby's side. But I think Nar might be able to get this top tower. No, not
Nar
just yet.
Yeah, he started to walk down, but when he saw he wasn't going to be able there in time, he went back to the turret. So he'll get it here with this wave.
And I don't know if I think that was the right call. I mean, he does get the tower eventually, but they're going to lose mid tower for it, I think.
Yeah.
And in addition to losing the tower, or in addition to losing the dragon and a couple kills, not, my opinion, worth.
Spook's kind of panic ulting there. Hit by the trap. I don't know, I think for MF Shadow that was just kind of making the most out of what he could. He should have already been in position to help with that dragon fight, but by the time he realized he wasn't there, and there wasn't anything he could do, just trading the turret was making the best out of a bad situation. But would have definitely been beneficial for him to see the dragon timing out before that, and it's already been in the mid lane before that happened. So we're in the point now. Still not quite 3,000 gold lead for Labby's lads.
I think that last play caught him up a little bit. Maybe Jingle and Chain getting caught out here. Vel'Koz ult trying to zone pull from Blitzcrank. The ultimate from Bukaki Bora will finish off Vel'Koz. That's now 2 for 0 with a minute on this Baron. think Vision Control will go over to Labby Celestial Lads here as they have an opportunity to push out this mid lane.
Yeah.
And they will I hope they will sweep that top side of the enemy jungle. They get a moment as Glacial Prison traps Blitzcrank. But he does manage to get out alive. Wow.
Yep. Just gets a good amount of armor with the Iceborne Gauntlet, so yeah.
So they are committing this mid tower with
Incline Colt's coming down.
Pressure, yeah, so the mid tower goes down.
Almost kills Prodigy, but barely not enough.
Yeah, so they are going to have to reset before they consider that Baron. So definitely a very... It was a trade, for sure. Mid tower, very helpful. Gold, very good. But they're going to lose control over this Baron area. As it looks like two of their members are just running back to base. Yeah, Blitzcrank just chugging back to base all alone. Doesn't need the recall. We in Dota 2 now, boys. Recall is a privilege, not a right.
Yeah. That's a good chunk there out of Django and a bunch of joystick. We're seeing the barrels are starting to do a lot of...
Looks like the wave clear will be able to keep this mid lane pushed out.
Yeah.
I'm hoping...
That was a good barrel there from Django.
Yeah, Spook's actually pretty low here from something. I don't know what. I'm not sure what poked him out on the side here.
Yeah, I think they need to be cautious. They don't want to be fighting while Gnar is not there. So they realize that and they're backing off.
Yeah, so Gnar just got that bottom tower. Flash hook from Blitzcrank able to catch Mr. Matt out. Now hopefully he's tanky enough to escape with his own life. So look to maybe chase on Sejuani. No, they're going to back off. Getting kited through that Gangplank ultimate can be a little rough.
Yep. Very, very good play there from Prodigy. Flash on the hook there with the confidence that he's going to be able to land that, secure another kill for the team. Let's see if they're going to do anything with that. Looks like they're just going to back and reset and maybe head to start looking at Baron, I think. Is the next option.
Mm-hmm.
So now we do see multiple items, a couple good items coming through here. Dr. Pango now has completed both of his lethality items, dishing out a lot of damage. Joystick on the Caitlyn is also, I think, close to getting Reaver for her her decided second item rather than the rapid fire cannon. Still going to dish out a lot of damage.
Yeah, and actually, worth pointing out, as Dr. Fango has completed these lethality items, the only member of KWM with armor items is Gnar, and that is only a Ninja Tabi. So not even Sejuani has. It looks like she's building an Abyssal Mask. With the Merc Treads and the Megatron Cloak right now, no actual armor. She has her passive, of course, which gives her a decent amount. But in an answer to that dragon, KWM actually
this is a really risky play.
Yeah, they're doing it so slowly. I think they have to back off here. They have to back off.
Yeah, they...
Lavin trying to get his way in. Spook's caught by the Blitzcrank and goes down so quickly. And with the double Mountain Drakes, Labby Celestial Lads will get through this very quickly. If they're just in starting it, they're all pretty healthy. Dr. Penguin maybe less so, but I think they want to get one more pick before really committing with this. And Blitzcrank looks like he's going to get in range to pull this Gnar, and Gnar flashes, saving his life. Kakiporo trying to get on the side, burst down this Gangplank here, but spotted out. Glacial Prison not quite reaching. Kakiporo takes a risky flank, manages to get out with it. Prodigy trying to get another grab.
With the dodge.
Spook's actually walking the bot lane right now. I'm just saying, through this noise, I gotta push out side lane.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting choice. Like, I don't know.
Bingo Unchained Flash.
Bingo Unchained having the flash there took the wrong
I think
path.
Mr. Matt does go down here. Flashes to try to escape Dr. Pengu. Can he get the snipe?
He's not going to go for it.
Try. It doesn't look like. Mr. Matt actually sticking around. They're playing very risky around this Jace. Now Jace sees the
Spooked
key,
is just now heading
by.
back from.
I don't think anyone died there.
Nope, nobody died. That was a really interesting call there from the Labby's lads. Now they're going to maybe return.
Yeah, that was like a full minute and a half long skirmish. Nobody died. So yeah,
They
Labby's lets you
managed
lads
to get all the vision control right, and
yeah,
they
they got
pushed them out. So
control
maybe
of the Baron. I don't think KWM has a clue this.
yeah,
is
they're
going
not
on.
anywhere close to that.
Yeah, with the double mountain Drake, this is gonna go down so fast. And he's completely blindsided by it. Yeah. So quick and easy Baron to the side of the Labby. And yeah, no, I think
That all started.
NA round.
Yeah, it all started with KWM's really, I think, ill-advised decision to go try to rush down that Baron. They didn't have the damage to do it quick enough, and by the time they realized it was too late, like they were already low, and the lads were able to get up there on them, get one kill easily, and then were able to push them all the way out of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they needed to feel like they were in still have the condition of, you know, Gnar ults in the team fight to win with the Gangplank damage and the Vel'Koz damage. They didn't need to make it play that desperate, in my opinion.
I agree.
But now, after that, now they are in a position where things are looking a lot more on the down for them.
Yeah, with this Baron, they've got complete objective controls. No contest even on this bottom tower.
Yeah, and the lads are a very good siege team.
Pulling in Sejuani there, she manages to use Arctic Assault to get away. Very close. They're gonna have to dig another play at this inhibitor.
Another pull.
Sejuani going down quickly to do the Blitzcrank pull. A lot of really good hooks. You wouldn't normally think Blitzcrank wants to pull a Sejuani, but when she's this squishy, she really doesn't have any armor items.
Yeah, at this point she's
Gangplank
squishy. Oh!
Just gets caught by the trap. I think double headshot.
I just don't think he saw it was there.
Yeah.
Just walked right onto it.
Yeah, Caitlyn not even needing the CC of it. You can go ahead and cleanse it. I'm just gonna hit you with the headshot and you're done anyway, so this might be game. There's only 3 members of KWM to respond.
Gangplank still has 20 seconds before he spawns. We'll see if they can mount a defense.
Boop on the side, going down because he's so squishy. Enough shadow. Yeah, nobody's able to stop these lusty lads here. No one can do Arctic's or Glacial Prison
That's a
actually
good
on the
ult there
Caitlyn.
on the Caitlyn.
Yeah, but not able to follow it up. She flashes away. Mr. Matt's in ult range of Veigar. And there it is. It's Mr. Matt going down.
It's going to be the game, though. Not enough.
Here it is. Yeah, patting their stats. Triple kill with Veigar. Good stuff. Good games. That was going to be the 2-0 victory for Labby's Lusty Lads.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80 carries are often squishy. I should clarify.
Definitely. Wow. Very, very well played there. Pretty, for the most part, pretty controlled. There were some mistakes had, but all around, everybody in every role played well. They made good decisions. They grouped as a team. They definitely were out macroing and just taking advantage of the mispositions and the mistakes. Also, definitely, I think drafted better, especially game 1. Game 2, I thought, because neither team had like super strong. Neither team wanted to just say, okay, we're just going to group late and team fight. You know, they both teams wanted to skirmish. So I think it was more balanced in Champ Select game 2. But still, Labby's Lusty Lads just, once they got out of the early game, complete turning on the go there and not letting off the gas until they had the Nexus.
Yeah, so MVP poll in the chat. Labby's Lusty Lads, again, coming out with the victory. So They're the ones on the poll. I guess you just take a quick look at these stats. Yeah, not surprised. Caitlyn and Jace were within 200 damage of each other to champions. So yeah, both of them doing massive amounts of damage. About 19,000 for both of them. Next was is actually Vel'Koz, 16,000. So impressive poke coming out of him. The AD carry Thresh putting in a pretty measly 3,500, actually the lowest in the game. So I think KWM went for some interesting strategies these last two games. First with the mid Mal fight, and then with the AD carry Thresh. Interesting. I don't know. I think they worked out very well for him, but yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I think they went for some risky strategies. They didn't pay off. In an alternate universe, I
Yeah,
could see them working, but
it felt like they were just saying, "Hey, we're gonna pick some champions that they're not surprised, and then we're going to do." But like that was as far as that plan got. Like, oh, they weren't expecting it fresh, but just because they don't expect it doesn't mean that it's something easy to play around. Or the AP Malphite mid, maybe
yeah.
not a common pick, but it's
So
hard to play around and easy to play against. So
yeah, so let's move on and talk about MVP poll here, because we've already got quite a few votes coming in. It was your pick for MVP of the series, so game 1 and 2 as well.
Just looking at it from game to game, I definitely think game 1 would have been Dr. Pengu on the Alawi. He completely shredded, dominated the top lane against the Renekton, and then got out of lane and transitioned that into some skirmish victories. Even outnumbered, I think there was a 3v4 that he just was able to smash.
Yes, double kill on that 3v4.
Yeah, so game 2, also obviously did a great job. Dr. Pengu did on the Jace. A lot of well hit shock blasts. Didn't dominate the lane like he did in game 1, but still had the advantage there. Got the early turret, and then did I think what he needed to do as far as getting at the poke. Since that's what they wanted to do with him and Caitlyn was poke. But I also want to give a big shout out to Joystick for game 2. Also played well in game 1, but game 2 specifically, the traps, comboing those perfectly with the blitzcrank pulls and the knockups, ulting the right people, even in times when like it wasn't going for a kill, but just knocking somebody low health, and now they can't defend the turret or whatever because if they stay, they just die. So utilizing the ultimate more than just to try to snipe someone who's low health, but being more creative with it. And obviously, just because the total damage output, it's hard to when you see a Jace doing that well, you would just kind of expect that to be the highest damage. But when Caitlyn was able to dish out that even more, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a toss up, I think, for me between Jordan and Pengu. But I think for overall both game performances, I might, but giving it to Joystick also, I think, would be
okay. Let's see if we can get a few more votes in the chat. Right now, we're at a tie between Dr. Pengu and Bukake Poro at 3 votes each. I think game 1, I agree. Dr. Pengu on that Alawi, main champion, he really showed it. He was absolutely nuts in the team fights. He was nuts in the 1v1s. He was nuts in lane. The guy was just crazy on it. He really could not be contested by a single member of KWM. Even sending multiple members was pretty dangerous because it's Lowy. She wants more people to come. I think the Malzahar in game 1 was also pretty good. Managed to catch quite a few people out with that Nether Grasp. And they were playing very aggressively. Dive in with that combination of Rek'Sai, Tristana, Renekton, Malphite, all champions that want to just go in. The Malzahar with that Nether Grasp able to, just stop him in the tracks and allow his team to follow up. I think game 2, I think it is split between quite a few people in game 2 as well. I think Dr. Pango did very well in that solo lane, provided a lot of poke and whatever. Good stuff out of him on the Jace. He got my vote for total MVP of the series. Standout performances in both games, especially in game 1, with some competitors in game 2. I think Joystick, high damage on that Caitlyn, very good. A lot of really good cages from Bukake Poro, allowing a lot of ganks out of, enabling a lot of ganks for Labby when Gangplank would just, I assume his orange must have been on cooldown, because he would just stand in the trap. He wouldn't take the stun, cleanse it, and keep walking, as I assume he would do if he had that orange. So he would just stand in the trap and be like, wow, I can't get out of here. Labby would come in. Not all the ganks were successful, but what can you do? I think Dark Horse for game 2 actually is Prodigy. He had really good hooks. He had hooks onto targets that you usually wouldn't hook, but he knew, this Sejuani's actually really squishy, and she's right up in my face. Let me just knock her up for my team to finish her off.
And I was actually just thinking that too, that I had forgotten about how many good hooks there were. Even, seeing opportunities for a couple of flash hooks to pull somebody back in and get a couple of picks that way as well.
Yeah, very bold flash hooks that did pay off once or twice. So very good on him to successfully do that. So we're seeing. Oh, I'm just hoping we can get another vote or something. We're going to close this poll here in a second. Last call for votes. So I'm going to skim through the chat and see what everyone's talking about. Got some discussion about how bold everyone is. Live bold, everybody. Fleet Mundo, very good. Mal's most damage game 1. Most definitely got those. Got that damage over time off very well. All right, we got one more vote. Gonna go ahead and call it here. We have 4 votes for Dr. Pengu. Dr. Pengu is our MVP of the series. And now let's hop down to the player of the game chat. Dr. Pengu, you are welcome to come join us.
I found it.
Hi.
Heyo.
How's it going? How are you feeling after that victory?
Feel really, really good. I got to play Alawi and then I got to play Jay, so I can't really complain all too much.
Yeah. Definitely excellent performances on 2 champions that you are quite familiar with. What were your thoughts when you locked in that Alawi in game 1? Not even first pick. They let it go through quite a bit.
I fully expected for them to have some sort of answer. That's why we didn't outright first pick it and then wait. I wanted to kind of see what their team fight was going to be oriented towards, and then I saw the I believe it was the Thresh Tristana, or I forgot what it was, but I saw the first 2 picks and I wasn't really too afraid of that. Because there wasn't really high profile range. We had the Thresh game 1. What am I thinking?
Yeah, it was. You picked Caitlyn. They picked Rek'Sai, Tristana. Then you picked.
Yeah. It was the Rek'Sai Tristana. There weren't really picks that really kind of scared me off of the Alawi. And then I also have a lot of versatility with the champ because if they want to go in, if they want to attempt to try and go into a tank to kind of counter against the Alawi, then I just go Klepto. If they want to go into a fighter like they did with Renekton, I just take Conqueror, and well, you saw what happened. So, but yeah, I wasn't really sure about the Renekton because Renekton gets countered by Alawi. So we 100% thought for a hot second that the Renekton was going to go mid against the Malzahar, and for some reason they would take the Malphite top, but Malphite doesn't have the best time against Alawi either. So we were kind of confused onto that aspect because like the flexes were great, but both of them into the Alawi, like at the end of the day, like at the end of Champ Select, I wasn't really worried about either champion. So that was really strange, but everyone played to their strengths game one, which is why it was honestly just a really clean game from us. I mean, Bukake on Malzahar, probably one of his more comfortable champions. Labby was doing some amazing work on the Warwick. I mean, we had the double suppress comp. So really, it was just, in our mindset from Champ Select, it was our game to lose because we had a lot of pieces just, from the get-go. I mean, I had the Alawi. We had Joystick on Caitlyn, really, really big comfort pick. Arizona Prodigy, he's really good at the hook champs. So, everyone had a little bit of comfort to him, and we also had a game plan on top of that, and it was just the perfect storm for game one.
Yes, that's definitely something that we both were pretty much talking about. Was we just felt like the draft for their team game one was just not on point. But then still on the topic of drafting, game two, they really went spicy with us and threw us for a loop for a minute while we were trying to figure out what they were picking. What were you guys saying and when you were seeing their picks coming in for game two?
I think they would have had a little bit more success had the Thresh been support in that role, and then the Vel'Koz go full damage. I feel like that would have been a lot easier to kind of execute, in my opinion, because the Thresh, you have a little bit of tankiness, you have a little bit of beef, and he's just there to kind of be a CC bot, which is perfect for the Vel'Koz, because if you land a correct amount of CC, I mean, Vel'Koz has his own innate CC as well, and then you tie that up into his passive, and, it gets to a point in the laning phase where if a Thresh gets, a considerable amount of, like, hooks and flays and everything, I mean, it's just one hook into a Vel'Koz ult, and you can't really do much. So I think, I respect the spiciness. I respect the, the attempt and everything like that. I really do. I just think it would have been a little bit easier for them to execute had the Thresh been the support there. And the Gangplank mid, I don't see it a lot actually, but we were definitely like kind of scared of that because Gangplank does scale a lot with the barrels. Like it'll get into like, the 25-30 minute mark, and hey, those barrels start half healthing our AD carry, and we're in pretty bad shape. So thankfully we didn't get it to that position. And then the Gnar, I mean, I've only played Jason to Gnar a million times, so it was a matchup that I was really, really comfortable on. Shout out to Eric Jusq, who helped me like really learn that lane. But still, I mean, it was something really, really big contested, and something that we definitely had to like work around was that rage bar. There was like a couple of fights that we just really didn't want to take because that Gnar was like right there. So that pick was really effective on slowing us down. I do got to give it to that.
All right. So now, trying to think, maybe a question. So was the intent with the Dr. Mundo always to take a jungle in that game too?
I think, well, right now, for those of you curious, Dr. Mundo is 100% pig ban in Korea. I don't know what their infatuation with that champ is, but honestly speaking, like, he does a lot. Like, the cleavers, they stack up. Like, you hit multiple cleavers onto one target, and you're just getting run down by a Dr. Mundo. It starts hurting. It starts putting pressure on a lot of multiple people, and a Dr. Mundo is really, really hard to kill. So we had a lot of big follow-up, and that's why on that game, Bukake Poro, honestly speaking, was really, really effective, was because the Dr. Mundo was taking the brunt of it as just being like a solo frontliner. And, Ethan on Bukake Poro, the Vagar, would just be able to cage him up, would be able to put the amount of damage that he would need to. Didn't really feel a lot of pressure. He went 7-0. So he was kind of just there, doing what Vagar does best, and that's just dropping as much damage as possible onto multiple targets. And he did that phenomenally well. So the Dr. Mundo is just really a big counter, in my opinion, to a lot of skirmish team comps. And I mean, you had the Thresh, you had the Sejuani, and then you had the Gangplank. I mean, none of those characters can really kill a Mundo. And then, as we saw in this game, collectively speaking, they still can't really kill the Mundo. And so it was just the best pick in that manner for us. Also, on top of that, I mean, we had the Jace for the poke and everything. We had the Caitlyn for the poke. We had the Vagar for the poke. That poke composition is just one of our better ones, and the Dr. Mundo just fits perfectly. I don't think any other jungler really fits that role as well as Dr. Mundo does in that poke role.
I agree, but what I was trying to get at with the question was, so you picked the Dr. Mundo before Jace. The enemy team responded with Gnar. Was it at that point, seeing the Gnar, you said, "Oh, I don't want was Dr. Mundo for top lane ever on the table?"
No,
were you
no,
trying
100%.
Okay.
No, I know. I had as soon as we saw the Alawi ban, I was 100% just going to go into the Jace. I mean, if teams don't want to ban out the Jace with it being like one of my more comfortable positions, and I've, one of my more comfortable champions that I've played, matchup after matchup after matchup, then, I mean, yeah, I hope y'all can win against it. That's the best. That's the best way I can put it. I mean, look. At the end of the day, I felt a little disrespected that they didn't ban the Alawi. And then I equally felt disrespected when they didn't ban the Jace. It's like, those are my two comfort champs. Those are the ones that I play day in and day out. So, to any other team out there, if y'all want to play against those champions, I hope y'all got a game plan.
All right. So if there's no further questions in the chat, Packer, do you have anything for him?
I guess just real fast, since you mentioned about, I mean, we already automatically were going to go for Jace when Mundo was out, or I mean, when Alawi was out. But as far as like the Caitlyn and the Vigar, where you're just kind of like a siege poke comp, was that like a reaction in the champ select or before the game where you're just like, yeah, why don't we just try this poke comp out?
No, that was definitely a reaction. Whenever we kind of, I don't want to give away all our composition notes because we're still in playoffs, but no, it was definitely just an adaptation on what champions we were able to pick. I mean, like, we first picked, I believe that game we first picked the Caitlyn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we first picked the Caitlyn. So from there, we kind of understood that we wanted a more poke team composition, and then we followed that up. And then also, I believe after that, hold on, let me look. So we picked up the Caitlyn and then the Dr. Mundo in response to the Thresh. So it was at that point that we kind of like settled in on a poke composition. The Jace just kind of followed it up really, really well. So as far as our first three champions, it wasn't really a question at that point, especially once I saw the Vel'Koz Gnar. It was like, okay, well, we're going to outpoke them because they're trying to outpoke us. Gnar isn't really known for a poke and kind of struggles against Jace because Jace is a ranged champion in the top lane. And then the Vel'Koz, we honestly thought the Vel'Koz was going to be mid, and that's not really, Vagar doesn't really do well. But then after the Gangplank, that just kind of solidified our Vagar pick at that point. We were really hesitant on the Vagar pick because it's like, Vel'Koz into Vagar doesn't feel very good. But as soon as they picked up the Gangplank, it was just a no-brainer from there. So we adapt. We definitely adapt, like, as the champ select goes on onto what we want to play. And, game 2, it just kind of all fell into place, perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And adapting definitely very important in a good champion select. So, I guess if we've got nothing else, yeah, if we got nothing else, I think that is the end of our interview.
All right, cool. So we'll see you guys in round 2. two of playoffs. Have a good night. Thank you all for streaming, by the way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to do it.
All right,
we'll
later,
see
boys.
Everyone, especially Labby's Lusty Lads, in the finals of the lower bracket playoffs in a week. So, hope to see you all there.
Semifinals.
Is it semifinals?
Yeah, because there's 6 teams, so they were the
seeded. Okay, all right.
The 1 and 2 seeds were on the bye.
That is correct. I forget things. You see, okay.
Yep.
It's been great having everyone here. I've been Yura Moose.
And I'm Packer Diehard.
And thanks for tuning in with us.